What's up everyone, Valkyrie here bringing you the first part of a Let's Play for Dungeon of the Endless. If you're not familiar with this title already, it's described as a roguelike dungeon defense game. You have to essentially navigate through a dungeon consisting of rooms that are randomly generated and fight off aliens while doing so. You do this by using a sort of tower defense kind of strategy. As you progress through the game, the aliens become sort of more numerous, they have different types, and there's completely random events that can really mess your game up or help you out depending. Okie dokie, so here we go. The game itself does come with a sort of a variety of game types that slightly change up the gameplay and how you kind of approach certain situations. So you've got escape pod, infirmary pod, armory pod, a drill, and sanitary, which is essentially hard mode. We're just going to go right ahead and play on the sort of standard pod. No difference in game, it's just as is, I suppose. Leave it on easy difficulty, although it really isn't that easy. So we get to pick two characters to start off our dungeon with. Generally the strategy I like to kind of employ is to have one tanky, hard-hitting character and another one who's actually quite fast, because that will actually come into play and be quite important. So I'm going to go right ahead and pick Ellie. I like Ellie because she does a lot of damage, which is the red bar, reasonable amount of health, and she's obviously a ranged hero. Which is nice, and I'm going to go right ahead and pick, I think probably Ken, although I think Skroik has more damage than Ken. He's also a ranged hero as well, and I think especially at the start range is quite important, because you can sort of kite with it and stuff like that a bit easier. So and Ken will be my crystal runner as he's got the most movement speed, so let's crack on. Sorry about that. Okay, so you essentially start in your crashed ship, and that's the crystal that you need to take to the exit. That essentially moves you on to the next game. If the monsters get in, they start beating up your crystal, and if that number reaches 0, the crystal explodes, and that's it, it's game over. So you really want to stop them at all costs taking the crystal. A quick look at some of the resources that you need to use in this game and manage. You have industry. This is used mainly for building generators which can create either industry, science or food, and obviously buying your sort of gun turrets and things for the defense tower side of things. You've got science, which is obviously for research. This will determine how you can upgrade your different towers, and it does come into play on one of the towers that actually uses science as how much power the weapon does, but we'll get into that later. Food is used to instantly heal your heroes, so mid-combat if you need to quick heal, you can just heal them using the food. Obviously it does drain down pretty quick when you're spamming it, so it is quite a necessary resource. You can also use this food to level up your characters there, and stats will change accordingly to their level up. And probably one of the more important resources is dust. Now dust is useful because you use dust to light up rooms. Why do you light up rooms? Well, so you can power other devices, and also it stops enemies spawning in any room that's lit up. You can't carry dust over with you to the next level, so it is your sort of dust stock only counts for the level you're in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the first door. I think I'll probably take both heroes, like so. Okay, got a couple of basic enemies. So now what I want to do in this room, now that I've opened it up, is power it up. You can see I've obviously got one blank square there, which indicates that I've got enough dust to power one more room, and then I won't be able to power anything. So what's important here is I've got a large, I don't even see, let me move her out of the way. I've got a large module here, and you can use that to put down a creator, which is going to obviously boost up these stats, say per turn. It's not really a per turn thing, but it's rather per door you open, you'll receive the bonuses there. So I'm going to go right ahead and drop in a industry generator. The reason I always place industry generators first really is because if you look at the cost for them, down here 25, this is only giving me like an extra 3 or 4 industry per turn or per door. So you really don't want to be placing industry generators right near the end of the level, because you won't recap the industry you've cost to build it, or the industry you've spent rather. So that's why it's always best to have one up there. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the second door. I'd like to point out these rooms are completely random, no map is the same, and sort of the stuff inside it is quite random as well. So we'll nuke that out, power that room. Okay, yeah, I haven't got industry for a while obviously. Let's go for the next door then. Oh great. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. I mean, straight away it's been relatively straightforward. It's been straight up. This room now splits off into 3 different directions. The exit could be anywhere, so at some point I may need to open all of these doors. The problem is I'm now out of dust, so I'm not going to be able to power all these rooms. So what it's generally best to do is to pick one direction and stay going in that direction till you can't go any further. Because if you open up here, here, and here, and you don't have any dust, that means you've got then 4 rooms, this one included because it's not powered. You've then got 4 rooms where you're going to have enemies coming in and choking you from every direction. So it's going to be tough. Now, if I get enough dust, I'll probably power this room up and put some turrets down to make a kind of choke point for these 3 doors. But if not, I'll probably use this room. I've got 6 miner slots. And you can see these down here, just a standard prisoner prod weapon. So I'll probably fill up these 6 slots in order to maximise my damage output in that room. So what I'm going to do now, because I don't have the dust, I'm going to fall back to this original room. I'll use my slower character because if there's enemies chasing, she might not be able to get away. I'm going to just drop down a couple of these here anyway, just for precautionary reasons. And we're going to go this way. Would have probably been better to go straight on. This was quite lucky actually. This room here, if I show you, again this is part of the random events. You can get favourable and unfavourable. This is actually a nice one. It's powered the room for me for free, so I don't actually have to waste any dust on that room. Now, the important thing is what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move Ellie up into this room, because once she's in a room, monsters can't spawn in that room. If I left her down here, carried on exploring this way, I'm going to get monsters spawning here, which are going to cut me off from the back and go down. So this will at least keep them spawning in one direction so I know where they're coming from. So we'll push on. Okay, that's quite lucky, there's no enemies in that room. My industry's up, how much do I need? 25. I think I'm going to start putting science down because research is pretty damn important on this. This will govern how well your turrets do, and obviously let you research other turrets which can be most helpful. So again, I'm just going to carry on in the same direction. Oh, lovely. So, another random event. That room seems to be powered, which is nice, and it's also given me some dust, so I've actually got some extra now to power a room. So what I think I'll do is I'll probably power this room here, and then that means that I can then explore both with using both my characters. It's a shame this dungeon actually leads off up and right, because this would actually be a really nice corridor to set up a kind of kill room. So we're just going to carry on. We're going to go upwards now, I think. Okay, so I found the exit. I'm going to power this room here. Now, what I need to do in the game is actually just get my crystal, which is here. I'll get one of my runner to pick it up, and then carry it to the end of the level. Now, as soon as I pick the crystal up, it's going to open every single door in this dungeon, and I'm just going to get infinite waves of enemies flooding outwards towards me to try and stop me. It's just you can't beat it. It just keeps going and going and going until you can't fight anymore. So what I like to do is open a few more doors at the moment. I'm feeling quite confident. It's not always the best strategy. Sometimes it is best to just quickly make a run for it. But I'm feeling quite confident actually, so I'm going to open a few more doors. Like so. Oh no, there's one up there actually. Cancel that. So go open this door up by the exit. So what a good game plan would be, sort of when you're thinking about making an exit. If you scroll out, you can see which rooms are powered, and you can sort of turn them off from here. What's a good idea is to power the way from your crystal room all the way to the exit room, and at any sort of adjoining side doors. That means the enemies might have to spawn in rooms up here, up here, up here, and it really gives you a good head start to get to the exit before they catch up with you, because some of them are obviously faster than your character anyway, and it gets quite messy if you don't sort of plan accordingly. So I obviously want to open a few more doors as well, because I want to generate a bit more resource from each door. As you can see, great thing about this mode is that your characters do heal once combat's over, so they all go back up to full health. You only really need to heal them sort of in the moment, if you like. But you can quickly get overwhelmed. Okay, I'm going to pull back. What I might do, because this might get a bit crazy, so I'm just going to spend a little bit of industry like that. Help me out. The thing is, once you have the exit uncovered, the chances of getting more enemies, I'm pretty sure, is increased. Once you've... Oh, hello. Once you've found the exit, I'm pretty sure every door you open thereafter, you get more enemies appearing, or at least that's how I feel. I'm not too sure. Also, the other reason why I'm interested in exploring these other rooms is as part of the roguelike randomness of the game. There might be a chance I could bump into another companion. You can have up to 4 people on your team. Obviously, having twice the firepower from your characters is extremely helpful. So, especially this early on in the game, this is only the first design. I'm quite tempted just to keep pushing on and opening up doors. I'm using Ken here mostly because he's faster than Ellie, and I can just pull him back to the room down here. Of course, I can get monsters spawning in any of these rooms, not just the one I've opened. If it's not powered, they can pretty much come from there. So we'll just see what's happening. It might take them a while. Was that? No, wasn't it? Those ball crystal things are quite annoying. They don't attack or do any damage, but they just go straight for your crystal. Whereas sort of other alien types will stop and attack your characters. But what they usually do is put a load of those crystal things in with a load of other enemies. You'll sit there fighting the enemies, and they're fighting back, and those crystal things will just run straight past, and it's quite easy to miss them. And then you start getting alerted that they're taking all your dust out of your crystal, and all your rooms start depowering. So it's quite a pain actually. Okay, so now that I'm done going in this direction, because as you can see, obviously that indicates there's doors. There's no more doors up here, so there's no point being up there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop down a couple more prods. They're only 3 industry each, and I've got 40 at the moment, so I'm not too worried. Because now I'm going to be defending myself from this area now where I'm stood. So, and it's very obvious and very likely I'm going to get spawns from here. So these prods should either deal with them or just slow them down enough for me to come and finish them off. Oh, brilliant! That's just one door. Okay. Oh, very good. So not only did that just give me some dust. Oh, here we go. Look, you can see the alert. Not only did that give me some dust, I found a research crystal. What you can do is you use your science on that crystal to research something. It'll tell you how many turns or how many doors you need to open before it's completed. So what I want to do is nip over there and get something ASAP. So I can upgrade my food replicator, which obviously gives me more food per turn. Suppressive firebolt, extra attack power for my heroes in the same room. It's good, but honestly I don't like wasting a spare node or slot, whatever you want to call it. The Claymore Mine is very good, but this is one of my favourites, the Neurostun module, which I'll max out. It basically applies like a movement slow in that room. So what you do is you drop one of those in a kill room, and it slows all the enemies down to a crawl, especially when you've got it fully upgraded. Basically, if you've got like Claymore mines or bombs in there, then they can just go sort of nuts on it, and it just buys you some time really if you're setting up multiple kill rooms because it tends to get overwhelming sort of later on in the game. So we'll start researching that. Let's push on top. Oh, great. So that was the last door. Okay, some of that was a waste, but you don't know. Treasure chest. Crutchy. Okay, well, I've played this game for quite a few hours, to be honest, and I've never seen a crutchy before. What the hell is that? Okay, right, we'll deal with the bad guys first. And then we'll have a look what crutchy is. Okay. Crutchy. Okay, it's just a stick to whack someone with. Cane, I guess. Alright. Well, none of my heroes can equip that because they've only got slots for machine guns, both of these. But I'll keep that in my inventory because chances are I will find a melee character anyway. And that'll be quite useful to have an upgrade straight away. So, now I've opened all the doors I can possibly open on this level. I need to basically think a way of powering this top end up so I don't get enemies spawning towards my exit. I might not be able to do it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to power this room down. Power this room up. I think that's all the power I can afford, really. That one's magically lit. No, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. Let me just think about it. I don't think there's any other way I can really adjust that, so what I'm going to do is I'll probably build just a couple, because I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Basically, that room will be flooded. I'm going to get spawned from here, and spawns from these 3 rooms up here, so not too worried about these because there's already prods down there, so he should be safe running the crystal through this section. But as I get further up to the exit, I think these 3 rooms are going to give me a problem, so let's get on with it. You want to choose your fastest. This is why I like to have quite a fast mobility hero, because when he picks the crystal up, their movement speed is slowed dramatically. So you want to have your fastest hero, and you want to be quite quick with this, so we're all in position. Oh, one other thing just before I do it. If you don't know, when you reach the exit, a box will come up saying exit now. If not all your heroes are in that room and you hit exit, you essentially leave them on the level, I know, to die, I guess, because they're gone, and that's it. So you really don't want to do that. So you want to I like to make sure they're in the room, waiting for me. Okay. So we're going to go, if I just show up on the map, it spawns here. That's not too bad, actually. Usually it just spams out every single room. Which is quite fortunate they're not coming from these 2, actually. Or unfortunate, depending. It's not too bad, I was worrying for nothing. I mean, sometimes these things can be really bad, even on the first level. Okay, so my heroes are ready. As I said, there's no point hanging around. These enemies will just keep coming more and more, so we'll just get the hell out of there now. Thank God. So yeah, but basically you're underground, you're trying to get to the surface. Every kind of floor or level you go up, everything gets a bit tougher. The events happen a bit more, at least in my experience. So it's just the start. On to the next level. What I'll probably do is I'll probably cut the video here, and I'll probably just do a video per level, whatever, just so it's not too long and all in one sitting. So anyway, I'll see you next time for floor 2. Thanks for watching.